Hello everybody, this is Zaxter99. Now I came across a story while browsing the internet and really like this story. Just a really short story. It's about life, I think, and it's about, you know, how ambitious sometimes we get that we overlook the simple things in life and the simple pleasures and what about, what life's really about. And I want to go ahead and talk about this story to you. Now, this story is about a Mexican fisherman, you know, working down off the coast of Mexico or of some really small town, and vacationing down there is a Harvard MBA. And he's an American businessman, and he's vacationing and he's standing on a pier, of a quaint coastal fishing village down in southern Mexico somewhere. And he watches as a small boat with just a single Mexican fisherman pulls into the dock. And inside the small boat, there's several large, yellowfin tuna fish, which is, very expensive kind of fish and very, very good. If you've never had tuna, fresh tuna, oh my God, it's to die for. But enjoying the warmth of the early afternoon sun, this American businessman vacationing complimented the Mexican on the quality of the fish inside of his boat. And the Mexican fisherman replies with a smile, "Oh, I caught these in just a few hours." So perplexed by this, the American businessman asked, "Well, why don't you stay out longer? Catch even more fish." Mexican smiles back and replies warmly, "Well, I have more than enough to support my family's needs. This is all we need." Well, the businessman at this point gets a little more serious and he's like, "But what do you do with the rest of your time? You have several hours left in the day. It's not even noon yet." Mexican fisherman smiles back at him and he says, "Well, I enjoy sleeping late. I enjoy playing with my children. I go to their ball games. I take siesta with my wife. And sometimes in the evenings, I even take a stroll into the village. I see my friends. I play the guitar. I sing a few songs. We dance. We have fun." The American businessman impatiently interrupts him. And he's like, "Now look, I have an MBA from Harvard, and I can help you be more profitable. These are quality fish you're catching. And I can see by fishing just a few more hours a day, you can sell the extra fish that you catch. And with that extra money, soon you'll be able to buy a bigger boat. With the additional income that your bigger boat will bring in, you can start hiring people to work for you. And then you can buy a second boat and a third one, and so on until you have an entire fleet of fishing boats here." The American businessman is proud of his sharp thinking and, ways to make a lot of money in a hurry, seeing this Mexican bring in his fishing boat. And he excitedly elaborates a grand scheme about how he could bring even more profits. Eventually, instead of selling the catch to the middleman, you'd be able to sell your fish directly to the processor, even open your own cannery. Eventually, you could control the product, processing, and distribution. The businessman is starting to drool almost, thinking about the kind of money they could bring in. He tells him you could even leave this little tiny coastal village that you have. Move your family to Mexico City, or possibly even to the United States, to Los Angeles or New York City. There you could, expand your business and expand your enterprise. The Mexican had never even considered such things. And he says, "Well, how long would all this take?" So the MBA Harvard, uh, you know, guy says, well, thinks about it real quick. Says you could probably do this in 15, 20 years, maybe 10 or 12 if you work really hard at it. The fisherman looks at him and doesn't really understand, what he's so excited about. And he's like, "And then what, senor?" Businessman says, "That's the best part." And he laughs. And he's like, "When the time is right, you could sell your company stock to the public. You'd become very rich. You would easily make millions of dollars." The young Mexican fisherman says in disbelief, "Millions? Millions of dollars, really? What would I do with all that money?" The businessman boasted and bragged about, "Well, then, that's just it. You could happily retire with all that money you've made. And then you could move to a quaint coastal fishing village. You could sleep late. You could play with your grandchildren. You could watch ball games. And you could take siesta with your wife. You could stroll into the village in the evenings where you could play the guitar and sing with your friends all you want. That's the end of the story. Now, hopefully, you guys have caught the whole meaning, the whole idea of where the story went, and hopefully apply it to your own lives. You know, I think it really fits in today's society when jobs don't pay enough, when so many people are overworked and overstressed and spending so many years, so many hours, so many 40-hour, 50-hour, 60-hour weeks working, going to school, going to college to try to get a better job. I'm not saying that having a really good job isn't worth the hard work. Nothing that's easy is really ever worth it. But when you think about how, we spend the primes of our life, our youth, our young years. I remember when I was young, when I was 21 years old, I remember when I had 3 jobs. When I barely slept and I worked 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job for quite a while. You miss a lot of time, you miss a lot. You pay a price for working all those hours. And you gotta think at some point, what are you missing? Because by the time it seems like you get ahead nowadays, by the time you work hard and work hard for years and you get ahead, a lot of times important people in your life are gone. Your parents, maybe your siblings, maybe your friends. Maybe you're working so many hours that you didn't keep in touch with your friends. You lost them over the years. What price do we pay to work all these long hours? To work into our 50s, our 60s, our 70s? Work so hard. And then when we do finally get ahead, when we have to retire, when we do retire, even if we do got money, what price have we paid to get where we're at? What have we lost? What about the countless hours that we've missed? The sunsets, the dances with friends, the conversations with people. Really brings a song to mind. Garth Brooks back in the 1990s, I believe, early 1990s. The Dance. Life's a dance. Life can be a dance. It goes by too damn quick, I know that. Life certainly goes by too quick. And if we spend half of our life working to try to get ahead financially, what about all the simple things? What about our families? What about our friends? What price do we pay? Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this short story as much as I have reading it when I found it. I want to thank you guys all for listening, for being a subscriber, for being a viewer of this video. Be sure you hit that like button down below. Be sure you subscribe if you want to get notification of any future videos that I put out. You can do that in the upper right hand corner. Just click the subscribe here button. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Zach 099. Take care, everybody.